Welcome or welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I am Shika, your medicine woman, and today I'm going to be breaking down the Capricorn full moon that is coming up. And I honestly didn't know if I was going to record this because the day that I'm recording this is the same day I did a live talking about the forest fires and what's going on in the world. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to record this. And then like so much was coming up for this full moon in Capricorn. So here we are, and I'm really excited. So grab some tea, relax. If it's your first time meeting me, it's so nice to have you here. You guys might not know the drill, but if you're new, we love an introduction. Put a rainbow emoji down below. Let me know where you're tuning in from, a little bit about yourself, who you are. I do read them. It makes me happy when I do. And in today's video, what you can expect is for me to go over what you need to know about this July Capricorn full moon that is happening on July 3rd, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, and how it's going to affect you in this week. I am going to be pulling out cards, but a lot of the messages I give is channeled, and take what resonates, throw out what doesn't. That's my motto. But this one's a potent one, as they just feel like they keep going deeper and deeper, because I just feel like the veil as I channel has becoming thinner and thinner. So it's been beautiful to hear all of your shares. But before we get into it, you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, put notification bells, interact, because YouTube, unfortunately, when there's more truth, YouTube tends to not like that. So share it with friends. It really helps the channel. It helps other people see truth. It helps other people receive and to heal. So if you can share that, if it feels good in your heart, I'd really love that. And for you to just like and communicate with the platform. A couple things I want to share with you guys. One being that as you guys watch this, I'm currently in the jungle in the Amazon, and one of my intentions is to keep these videos for you guys, to keep you in the portal, to keep you in the energy of the moon. So one thing that I will share with you guys is, if you are interested in one-on-one with me and you'd like to be on the waiting list, give me an email in my link tree, and I will respond to you when I get back, and we can schedule that in. If you feel called to do healing, a lot of my healing is ancient medicinal healing, so if that feels good to you, you can go there. I also have my ancestral retreats, my last retreat of the year, that's happening in November. If you're interested in applying to that, you can go down below for that. And lastly, we have one surprise healing for you guys. So we had a few breathworks before I left, and now I am so excited that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. We're doing a Lionsgate breath. I am so pumped. Like, guys, Lionsgate tends to be the most, like, you guys love Lionsgate stuff. So I'm coming in hot for you guys. Okay, so we're doing a Lionsgate breathwork ceremony, a 3-hour 8/8 portal breathwork ceremony for the Lionsgate, where we're going into an ego-gorm energy to manifest, to really shift our timeline. So if you have been wanting to focus on manifestation, then I would highly suggest you coming in, even manifestation collectively. Yes, come. Like, there's so much potency when we're all together. It's going to be via Zoom. It's not going to be recorded, because you guys know I'm all about integrity. I'm not going to give you a big, crazy, deep healing without holding you. So part of the energetic exchange is holding you. So we're going to actually be happening. Let me give you guys the time. It will be on August 8th, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so 5 p.m. Eastern time, mark your calendars. You can go and register down below. And I will see you guys for that 3-hour deep. It's potent. It's going to be fire. Like 8/8, Leo energy. Leos, you guys got to come here if you have Leo placement. And if you don't, come. It's going to be so fun. And I'm going to be after jungle energy. You guys are getting it. You getting it good. So down below, okay? That's it for announcements. Let's get into the reading. But I wanted to share that with you guys, share what's going on. And I'm really excited for this, because I was just going off on channeling. Okay, so what do we need to know? Who is a Capricorn here? I'm a Capricorn rising. For you new guys, here's a little fact about me. I got Capricorn rising. Where does Capricorn hit in your placement? And if it doesn't, it's still gonna affect you, don't worry. So the first thing that's coming up when we look at the Capricorn full moon that's happening on July 3rd, 2023, is suffering of one is the suffering of our own. When one person suffers, we kind of are all connected to that, right? The best way of explaining it is, if you've ever walked somewhere and you see something happening and instead you become silent and you don't say anything, you are suffering silently. You are witnessing the pain of someone else, but you are not allowing yourself to be part of that story. You're not allowing yourself to be part of what is here. And that is one of the biggest things that's happening in the collective, that's being unveiled in this shadow period in our life right now. It's ending. As we approach the Lion's Gate, we're going more into brighter energy collectively, but we just came out of a huge grieving process. The wildfires that have been happening, just a lot of the energetic things that's been going on in the world. It's just, we're kind of like, we've grieved. And now it's like we are allowed to be joyful. We are allowed, because when we can be joyful, we're giving ourselves permission, and those in suffering permission to choose out of suffering. I always say you can never heal someone, and you can never heal. Like, I'm not a healer. I call myself a guide. I feel like that word just doesn't resonate. And for other light workers, let me know how you feel about this. But you are guiding yourself out of suffering during this Capricorn full moon. That's really what it is. It's about guiding yourself out of the fact that you feel like you have to work this traditional way. And it's more of the law of efficiency, which we talked about a few weeks back with the reading I did. And also the Gemini new moon, which was all about community, relationships, tapping into the heart, opening, being open to receive. So now that we're open to receive, it's like, ooh, for those of you who've been working hard, you're seeing that come into the full moon. The full moon's kind of giving you a little gift, like a little pre-gift before you get to see the Lion's Gate, and that's coming up. But again, remember that we need to notice that we are seeing the collective tenseness energy that we've been in. And it's really to wake us up, you know, all the things that are happening in your communities and in the world. And that's why I always tell people, the people who don't watch the news are the people you got to be more worried about. Like the people who are empaths, I'm gonna have to say it. It's like the ones that are like, I don't do this because I'm too sensitive and da 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 da. If you are one of those, come on, show your truth, raise your hand, because this is July 3rd, 2023, Capricorn full moon, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. Is not about that. It's like, I'm awake and I'm ready to be awake and be seen awake, right? Because when I do that, I'm giving permission for other people to do the same. So remembering, what's the other energy of suffering? Complete abundance, joy, freedom, painless. These are the energies that we have. So we're seeing where we need to focus on that, and that being mirrored in your collective energy. So when the more that we are able to kind of be aware of what's going on around us, the more that we actually be part of the healing for ourselves and all those related. Another thing you need to know about this July 3rd, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, for this Capricorn full moon, is it's time to know that it is not only about the money problems. Okay, so Capricorn is big money energy. Taurus and Capricorn, I saw this thing and it's so true. Capricorns like to make money, Taurus like to spend it. Okay, they make great best friends. I'm a Capricorn rising. One of my best friends is Taurus, and you know, they help them because Capricorn tends to think money, gotta. But then it's like when we do this healing, we really come heart space, right? And then when we have a Taurus, it's like, treat yourself, be good. But then there's also that shadow of the Taurus where it's like they kind of spend a little too much of your Taurus out there, you know. You guys just don't care about spending. So here it's all about balance. It's about understanding. It's time to not only focus on the issues and be a victim of our problem, be a victim of our scarcity and suffering. The words we say is what impacts our reality, right? This isn't new. If it is new, it's new. But for a lot of you that I know, I feel that this is something that probably through your research, through connecting with other people, that you probably sense, right? So collective energy of healing, love, and working on nature are the 3 recipes to a successful, abundant life, right? If you are healing and working on your energy is everything, right? It's not about the spreadsheets. And trust me, because I know I was in corporate. I used to work as a director of marketing for a very successful business. So, and I worked in New York Fashion Week and all the fashion weeks. So a lot of before this life, I like to say I've lived many lifetimes. One of the biggest things is the healing. Is if you heal your energy, you focus on your energy. And some of you had to slow down last month. Maybe you had a health issue. maybe there was like this foreseeable detour or maybe pause in your life. You just had to slow down. And that actually was the best gift for you, even though at the time it didn't seem that way, because it really gave you healing. Like it gave your physical body healing to really navigate, okay, where has my body and my words been, like all the ways I talk to myself, how do I talk to myself in a low frequency, in a suffering energy? And this could be your surrounding environment. And now with this full moon, because full moon is all about ending cycles, it's like you are now shedding that last bit of it. Then we go into love, you know, like looking into Capricorn. Capricorn energy is about that abundance life, but then the other shadow of that is like they forget about love. They forget about just knowing that they need to be in that energy to be able to be law of attraction, attracting that abundance, right? So it's like, how open is your heart? Your heart is open, your abundance is flowing. Okay, that's what I heard. Once your heart's open, your abundance is flowing. That's why I always say with Capricorn full moon, look at your relationships. Even if you're single, like look at your relationships, because there is a cycle ending here to give you permission for you to really be heart-centered with just your abundance mentality. And I'm not just talking about cash money. Like I'm talking about, you know, like the focus of just life in general and like abundance. Like for me, one of the biggest abundance I've noticed is time and spaciousness. So being able to really take my time in the morning and not have to rush to go record a video, do a healing session with someone, have a, you know, an information chat with someone about the retreat. Like if I can just really manage my energy, and that's what's coming up, the abundance is managing energy and not actually feeling this suffering, because suffering is bleeding out energy. Ooh, this is big. So when someone's in the energy of lack or suffering, it means your energy is leaking. You have leaky energy. So what Capricorn full moon that's happening on July 3rd, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is clearing the leaky energy you've had. And you've kind of had a pre-up of that come the month before, so June, right? So a lot of you had that physical, even end of May to all of June, a lot of you at different times had this physical shift, like almost like a physical detox. And this is all to help you really step into that space of where's your energy leaking. And that goes into being more efficient and not focusing so much on the issues, because that's draining your energy big time. The last ingredient is nature, right? When we look at an abundance, how are we connected to nature? You know, there's so much science and there's so much spiritual, you know, phrases as well, and downloads on like how people connecting, being beside water. I saw a post the other day, being beside water for 20 minutes allows you to relax your nervous system tremendously the moment you just look and feel and sound into water. It's shown, right? When we earth ourselves, when we walk barefooted, it's shown that your nervous system and your energy field body is more balanced. So Capricorn full moon is teaching us that abundance is not what we were taught, right? And you are ending that aspect. So you really have to get out of your bubble of thinking that you know what abundance is, for you to tap into, okay, what am I ending? What values, what habits, what cycles, what thought processes, what beliefs about healing, about love, about nature do I have? Break that down. You can even do like a 3-part diagram on that as like your practice for your ritual. And when you do that, then you see, where am I having abundance blocks? Where is my energy leaky about that? Not thinking that I am an abundant, endlessly abundant being, because I can look at all the affirmations, I can do all the things, but at the end of the day, Capricorn energy is big daddy money. It's like, it's literally Capricorn. Capricorn's like, hey, I need a little this. And it's like, the universe is like, no problem, I got you, right? But if you come to someone and you're like, hey, I'm suffering and I'm going through all these things, and if only someone could, victim, you're being a victim to your money, you're being a victim to your energy that is blocking you from receiving. So we're clearing that. Thank you, Capricorn. We are clearing that. But as I always say, free will. Are you willing to receive that clearing for this Capricorn? And yeah, maybe we'll take a couple triggers of like, you know, some bills, random bills to come up, or, you know, an unexpected expense around this time, or perhaps like a work promotion on the other side of that energy, or perhaps like something shifting in order for you to come into that energy. But you really have to understand the double-edged sword that's happening with the Capricorn full moon on July 3rd, 2023 is talking to us about focusing abundance. Health is wealth, right? So that comes in healing, love, and nature. Connect to those three ingredients. You are about to see your life shift, okay? The next thing to know is those who are making a purpose that is beyond me rather than we, right? Every time I'm like, I used to be like this, so I can see it. You know, a lot of the times when people come, Capricorn full moon, it's like the energy of like, it's not about you at the end of the day. And I don't mean this as a way of like, what do you mean I can't talk about my boundaries and talk about my well-being? 100%. But the bigger picture of it is about something bigger, right? So you got to really think about if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're living life to life, and this might be triggering. Again, I'm sharing this with you guys because I'm true. I talked to you guys about this with the life. Like, this is good for you. Like, I'm saying this in a way to trigger you, to free you, right? To allow you to free yourself. And, you know, it's beautiful to hear all the stories that you guys share after. But here it's like really talking about if you're focusing on that, and I get it. Like I also felt that. I felt that feeling of having like $5 in my bank account and like had to like, and I can talk about it now because I get it. I see myself now in that suffering space, and had my bills to do and my rent in 5 days, and I was like, how in the world am I gonna do that? Like, that is where your energy is going. But like, you gotta pop yourself under the water and be like, look. And this is what Capricorn full moon is like. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. It's not about just you and your suffering here. It's something much bigger. And this can go ancestral. This can be like, what was the money problems in your family lineage? Look at that, because that is in your DNA. You know, how was your first allowance when you got money from your parents? If you did get it, like, what were the things they taught you about money? Those things stay with you. When you got your first job, what was money like to you? Was your parents involved? Were they instigating certain beliefs or certain conversations or just certain emotions? These things are the reason why we think about me. And like a simple one that's coming up that might resonate with you. I remember my family saying, always save money for a rainy day, but they would never know what the rainy day was. Like, save money, you never know if this can happen. So in my DNA, I'm like, well, these things can happen. So I'm going to make sure that I save that money. And I'm telling the universe, make those things happen. Right? And there's a difference between energetic responsibility of money and abundance and non, right? So it's like knowing from that frequency of, I'm going to do this because I'm scared, or I'm going to do this, but I also know, like, I have the energetic belief that, you know, it's not going to make me feel poor or feel like the energy is being taken away from me. And this is where a lot of people, again, when they're in a hard time, Capricorn full moon's like ending this version of like, let me be in isolation of my suffering, right? It's about us together. So it's understanding how can you look at the bigger picture of this world, seeing yourself and others successful, not dividing. Because when we can divide people, this comes in relationships, abundance, everything. Capricorn full moon's teaching us those who are making a purpose beyond themselves, beyond their suffering, and staying true to that value, like that dharma, that deep dharma. What is your dharma? Dharma is like, what is your purpose beyond you? What is going to live here beyond any lifetime? Beyond any lifetime. This is why I created the Earth Dharma Healers program, was because I knew that it had to stop being about me. But before that, I had to bash my ego a few times, and then I came back to myself. So this is maybe what's coming up for you. So will bring success, because knowing no matter how much money you create, and this is huge, this is a big download for the Capricorn full moon that's happening on July 3rd, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. No matter how much money is given, it cannot heal or buy you a character of the shadow, right? And you need to seek and not accept the fact that, like, your shadow is what you need to love, right? This is coming back to the 3 ingredients: heal, love, nurture, and bring that nature into it. Nurture nature. When a shadow of yourself feels me, you ask the shadow, why don't you feel loved? Why don't you feel healed? Why don't you feel connected? When you can ask those 3 questions, they'll tell you a feeling, and you can go deeper into where that belief came from. So again, remember, money can't buy character, but character will always live. right? So this is why healing, love, and nature are the 3 ingredients to a deep abundance in your life. And we're gonna go into this with the Lionsgate breath work, like register. You're gonna thank me later. You're gonna be like, Shika, what just happened? Like, yeah, it's gonna help you. Like, we're gonna go deep. The more that you accept that you're choosing to love that part of us, we move to a different frequency of infinite love and abundance. So the part of you that you're kind of either victimized, seeing as a villain, I like to call this with, I teach this, but you know, see yourself as a villain. If you vision yourself as the villain, a part of your life as a villain, or you vision yourself as someone who needs something or the universe or God or creator to save you in prayer, that's the desperation, that's the suffering frequency. But if I choose to say that I actually have that deeper power in myself, Capricorn, big energy, where it's like, what are we talking about? I got it. I got you, right? We got you. So when we got to that point, we get to infinite love and infinite abundance. And then this is where you need to ask yourself, when you are then open, when you allowed all the things that you fear to say about abundance because you're scared about how it's going to manifest in reality. And let me just tell you, it's already manifesting because you're not freeing that version of you. Boom. So those people who fear to say something because they're like, oh, if I say it, then it's going to manifest. It's already manifesting. It's on hamster wheel. So Capricorn full moon is like allowing, it's asking you, release that deep, dark thought that you have about abundance, about yourself, about lack, about suffering, and let that speak through. Like actually say it to yourself in the mirror. And that's going to just, you're going to feel that breath come in. And then once you've let that go, you have spaciousness to then receive the abundance, to then find that within you and that love. But until then, your fear of manifesting that and saying it's already happening. So free it. And that's what the Capricorn is like, freeing that deep belief. Another thing to know about this July 3rd, 2023, Capricorn full moon, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is track where you do not ask for help, but rather resent the fact that people are not showing up for you. This equals not knowing or feeling safe to share your needs. Find the why here to let that part of you free. Woo, that just came deep, deep, deep when I was like thinking about this with you guys. So track where you do not ask for help. I want you to ask yourself, I don't know, you know yourself. So where do you feel like you don't ask for help? Where do you feel like I'm scared to ask for help? And be honest with yourself. There is no judgment in this space. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is the biggest fear you have if you were to ask someone that you care about and that you love for help right now? Just the first person you think of. And why is that fear there? When you can tune into that, you are then reclaiming the safetyness and you're reclaiming the receiving that you don't know, and that's okay, right? And I see this wound a lot of the times from our younger self at school, because at school it's a right or wrong answer, or at home it's a right or wrong answer. There's no in between, but that is actually what wasn't taught to us. There's always an in between. Everything is an in between. Everything is uncertain at the end of the day. But rather what is certain is who you are and your truth, and tracking that within yourself, right? So the fact that you're fearing to ask for help is actually showing you that you don't know how to express it. Maybe you weren't taught to express your needs. Maybe your needs were actually given to you with no room for you to actually speak and say, what do you want? They were just assumed. You know, think about your younger self. This is where the money wound starts, actually. It's not actually when there's money. It's also when where your voice and your choice was taken away from you. Because when the voice and the choice was taken away from us, we then feel like, oh, we're only safe if someone else saves us. And that brings us to the victim mentality of abundance, right? But we have that beautiful option now that I've shared this with you to free that part of you, to allow in the Capricorn full moon to be like, wait a minute, I do have a voice. I can explore that. I can be curious with that. What does that look like to ask for help? What does that look like to feel safe with people that can respect me, hold me, honor me the same way that I hold and honor myself? And when I can do that, I ooze out this confidence, this energy, this aura that is just going to be magnetic. And that is what every single person has. You have that. Even if you are moving through that, you still have it. And this is what the beautiful other side of the Capricorn full moon is going to show you. The next thing to know, so as you guys can see, there's a lot of abundance that's coming up. And with this Capricorn full moon that's happening on July 3rd, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, we're really looking at mother wounds. Now, a lot of people may ask, what are mother wounds? it is shown scientifically and also spiritually that we hold up to 38 generations before us of ancestral pains, wounds, stories, patterning that is just given in our DNA. You ever done something and people will ask you, why do you do that? And you're just like, because I know, I just always done it. I never knew not to do it. And as far back as you can go, you just know that this is what you do, right? There's a lot of traditions and things that were done that were rooted from maybe pain, that were rooted from experiences, that were wounded from suffering, wounded from lack mentality. And when we can ask questions and get answers, and sometimes we don't get answers and we feel discouraged, but we can ask our soul through healing, through meditation, through energetic work, through so much. So the mother wound is essentially looking at your mother and the mother that you stayed in their womb with, and their energy and basically everything they've experienced before you were even going to the journey of the physical realm of the earth. So looking at that, looking at the women or the feminine beings, the feminine humans, the feminine souls before you, and what were the things they were challenged about? What were the things they were feared to heal? Maybe they didn't heal. What were the beliefs they had? That is engraved in us. On a physical level, it can go really, really deep from mother to grandmother, but we can hold it back from the time of the ancients. And this is why I'm so passionate about this work, because when I did the ancestral retreat last year, the power, we went back, one of the participants, we went back from the first woman of their generation. Like they felt it, they saw it, they were in it, and this was a very powerful healing for them in this retreat. So again, if this is resonating with you, please, please, please come to the ancestral retreat. I would highly suggest you attending. It's going to be so potent, so potent. And we have the Activated Goddess retreat that's happening in Portugal, and it's literally all this. So really asking yourself these questions. What were their stories? How can you see what is the bigger picture, and what is the layers that are being shown to you through your own human experience, through their stories? Because most likely, even though that you didn't have the exact experience as your parents and your family, it is something that is lived in your DNA and in your nervous system. So it's something that can be remembered by tapping into it. And the human body is so knowledgeable. It's profound. So yeah, you're going to see for this Capricorn full moon that it's going to really show us this suffering. What is the suffering of the feminine? What did the feminine suffer? You know, the suppression of sensuality, sexuality, the suppression of power, voice, the suppression of being able to create and birth. There's so much I can talk about on this, but really going into the root of this, because this is where stories are told. And you might even notice that there might be conversations with feminine souls, even 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, like a sister, a mother, specifically mothers, something will come up, or grandparents, and it's almost like, or directly through the unseen world, you're going to get this deep message of what the story is. And I really encourage you not to question it, but rather just be open to it and see, okay, maybe there's something here. Because a lot of people be like, oh, well, this doesn't make sense, or da-da-da, and you go into the mind, but feel it. Feel if it resonates, because if it does, then that's all that your soul needs to know. There is going to be a huge heart-opening opportunity after the final grief. So we had the final grieving that happened collectively coming to June, and we're now preparing for this fiery, like, on the other side of that, like, we're opening up, and this is where our hearts are opening. We're seeing it deeply with the masculine, we're seeing it with the feminine, we're seeing it with every soul, and we're really witnessing this, like, permission of grieving. One thing that's coming up for me just speaking to you is really tell someone that you haven't talked to, I love you. Send them a message. This is a really great time to really just, like, send out love for people, and also be open to receive love, so we can all match that collective energy of the summer, the bee energy, the abundance, the receiving, That's one of the cards that came up, is bee energy, is like coming into community and all of us flourishing together. So if you know someone you love, like just send them a message even during this video and just say, hey, I'm thinking of you, I love you. If the feels aligned, that is coming up for them to also help and support them, and that reflection will come back to you. But we're definitely seeing like a lot of deepness that's coming in. We are giving ourselves the permission to love and be loved again. The moment I said be loved, I heard Bob Marley come on. So I don't know if any of you resonate with Bob Marley, but I definitely feel like he is and still is, he was and still is a big Capricorn energy. He allowed people to feel abundant through his words, his poetry, his music, and he said a lot of truth in his music. And I do feel like a lot of what he prevailed in his songs is what's happening right now, will continue to happen. So it's like bringing that heart-opening warmth of Bob Marley into your life. I know this sounds kind of strange, but it's true. It's like the warmth of the summer, the warmth of like that happiness, that permission to be loved and loved again. And the moment we do that, we are anchoring to something much bigger than you. And that is going to really open and crack you open into a more heart-centered purposes. I'm not going to say purposes, because we all have many purposes, to really go into that space. I also see a lot of you are going to get cracked open with a bowling ball. Like I closed my eyes and I saw a bowling ball for this Capricorn full moon, like almost like these little pins that you see and you're like hitting it on the bowling alley. And like the center one is just like your ego, right? Your ego, your face of your ego, your energy of your ego, and you're just hitting it straight in, bullseye, cleared, strike, right? So it's like, not strike, but whatever they call it, I forgot. I haven't played bowling in a while. But Capricorn full moon is like talking about the bowling ball is hitting your ego, cracking it open and forcing you to open your heart, whether you like it or not, because the collective energy is pushing you to the edges of your heart more than you've ever expected. And that is the most abundant thing, because then you're going to be so heart-centered that doesn't matter where you are in your life. And this is also another message. A lot of you need to stop focusing so much on the economy issues. I talked about being connected as being part of the world, but also like not allowing fear to push you through that. You know what I mean? So in other words, you know, cracking open the ego and cracking you open to the heart, because the heart is underneath the ego that doesn't want to be vulnerable. And this card that came up today with you guys collectively was like Amuaka, which is like the Hawaiian beautiful goddess. She's like Maha energy, and she's like saying like, let the vulnerable ancestors speak through you, let your vulnerability speak through you. And that's what Capricorn full moon is like. Let your vulnerability of where you feel like you are not abundant, not enough, not your suffering, your lack of, let that speak, that wounded version. If you were to envision what that version of you would look like, let that person look you in the eye and tell you the truth of what they feel, because you're freeing them into your higher self, closer to coming home to you. So deep words. But one of the biggest things is you only are doing this for, and this is a big thing that came up for me when I was talking about that bowling ball, is like knocking out that feeling that you are pleasing other people outside of yourself. So Capricorn full moon 3 days before the day of and 3 days after for July 3rd, 2023, it's really teaching us to go like, who are you doing life for? Like, are you doing it for your kids? Which is great. It's beautiful that you are in the step of being the mother, but is that the only reason why you're living today? Are you only doing it for your partner? Are you doing it for your mom and dad, that younger version of you that wants them to say, hey, I'm so proud of you because you got an A+? Like, what part of you is still wrapping yourself around suffering, thinking that you need to get to this place? And it's hard. It is hard. It's hard living a life trying to accomplish something that you feel you will not succeed, but then you were also told that will never be good enough. And that's something you have to understand. That person, that dash you are only doing life for, and whoever that person comes up, or you're doing life for, and who that person outside of you is, it's sad to receive that you will never be able to fully be accepted by them and their standards. And the moment that you take that off the pedestal, you are now freeing yourself from suffering and feeling this sense that you had to be fixed. And Capricorn full moon is about like, you know, the beautiful thing about Capricorn is, yeah, they're big money, they're big abundance, they're big all this energy. But at the same time, they constantly are perfectionists, because they're constantly trying to get to the next big thing. Take a breath, take a pause, go into your heart. Open up. This is what you're being called for. And the moment you do that, it allows you to let go, like time to let that go. Let that person's voice that is validating more than you, and let that person's purpose for you. And this is where the mother wound comes up. Their reasoning to have you is actually, like, being mother is selfish, because you're having this being that is now relying on to you energetically and whatnot, whether you know it or not. And that's why a lot of mothers have a hard time receiving love, or have a hard time being motherhood, because it's like this interesting space where it's like, oh my God, this being has all this love and light for me. Can I receive it? But if we were having a hard time to receive it before, it gets us triggered. And this is where we have mothers that unconsciously wound their child without knowing, and why we're doing this healing. So here it's really asking yourself, like really coming into, where can I free myself to go into that beyond? And you need to look at the mother, because the mother is going to be like, what was their reasoning? You know, was it because they were forced by family to hurry up and have kids? And it was all about like, what are women used for? What are the feminine used for? Like, it goes deep. It goes so, so deep. So Capricorn full moon is shedding that, and it's a very empowering energy. It's like, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm abundant, I'm roaring, I'm getting ready to roar for the Lion's Gate, for the 8/8 portal. Like, that's the energy that's coming in. A lot of you guys, when you witness this within 3 days before the day of, or 3 days after, you're gonna get this new idea that's gonna be heart-centered. And because you're so focused in your heart, you're gonna be so abundant with it. Doesn't mean it has to be business related. It could be like, you know, in your household, or shifting a new value or a new practice. It could be just like your work right now. Like, there is going to be something that shifts and open, and it's going to change for your life forever. And it will continue to integrate up until August. So just allow yourself to open to that. The last thing is, I really talked about this already, but money abundance blocks come hard to open you up and let your lack frequency go to the earth, go back to source. We don't need that anymore. And I really want to highlight the fact that, again, this looking away from me and looking at we comes from your ancestral lineage. I talked about this in the live. Water my blood, right? Waters of energetically, when we look at it elementally, is your blood, right? When we connect with the waters, what does waters represent? Emotions. Blood is connected. The waters and blood fuse together. Capricorn full moon is all about the essence of let your waters and blood connect. You know, let the blood of your ancestors connect. I think that's one of the biggest things that's coming up for this energy. And if we don't, then we are not allowing our human body to feel safe in this life, right? And that's what Capricorn's earth energy. So earth my body in this reality I've created. You know, like, why is my life the way it is? The we is like your human reality, right? It's opening you up to opportunity, to opening to abundance. And the moment the heart opens, so does your sacral chakra, which your sacral chakra is all about manifestation. And this is needed for Lion's Gate. So you're getting a heart opener, and then literally a month later, and in the process of a month, you go through a transition of reconnecting deeper with your sacral chakra. And it's like fire. All of fall, you're just gonna boop, 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 we're going through a very big upgrade. So that's what I have for Capricorn. Let me pull some cards for you guys. How are we feeling? Let's do a little check-in, fam. How are we feeling right now? What's the energy like? This Capricorn is giving it to us, but in a good way. Like, it's not, that's the thing with Capricorn full moon, when I tap into it on July 3rd, it's not bad or good. It's like, you guys are ready. The energy we're feeling collectively, we're like, yeah, I'm ready to stop suffering. I'm ready to just receive. I'm ready to start being in this energy and tapping into it. And I'm just ready. So, ooh, you guys are getting some good cards. So I'm going to pull out the ancestral cards. The ancestral card I have, Angels of the Ancestors, is by Kyle Gray, because I know you guys are going to ask me. The card that I'm shuffling here is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Barron. And the other card is Lightworker Oracle by Elena Fairchild. And I also have her other cards, which is, where are they? I have them all spread out. Earth Warrior, which I think I need to pull for you guys, because this is Capricorn Earth energy. Any Earth signs, other Earth signs, let me know down below. And again, if you guys are feeling this, come to the Lion's Gate portal. You're gonna be so happy you did. Like, come to the Lion's Gate. Let's hang out. We're gonna manifest. Your life is gonna shift, and it's gonna be amazing. So let's pull out one card from here for Capricorn energy, the Capricorn full moon. Okay, we got one card here. Oh my gosh, guys, this is big energy. Let's start reading. There's some big energy here. Okay, so we have Traveler, move to a new direction. So what card is telling me is either you are physically moving around this time, and this is because you're finally like done. You're like, I'm done suffering. I was done saying that like I wanted to go here. This could be physical, like element, like you guys have been wanting, some of you have been wanting to move, especially if you're an earth sign. Or some of you maybe just recently moved and you're grounding, you're rooting, you're getting used to your surrounding. And others of you are probably like traveling for a while and you're like getting to know yourself on different lands and like connecting new roots to different lands. So I do feel like there's a new perspective that's happening for you this month that's really helping you get out of that suffering victim mentality. Woo, we love that. And it's allowing you to really look at yourself connected and you're not alone. Going back to that community energy from the Gemini new moon. You're also noticing a little bit more of like you're seeing, you're more, I guess you can say, intuitive with the unseen when it comes to the feminine ancestors. And this is a feminine energy, by the way. So this is beautiful. The other two cards I got for you guys is Truth Be Told. So again, this is like be truthful to yourself, like really let that ego purge, essentially, like take the mask off. Because when you do, you allow the owl medicine to come in and your knowledge will come in as to like, what is abundant for me? What is an abundant life? Unfortunately, today's world, AI and social media, and like even social media and our platforms have been digitalized and coded with AI for years. Just now they're actually coming into it. It's all like a plan, if you will. But when we tap into it, we really tune into what is the truth that is being told. So what is your truth that is wanting to be shown here? Let your energy be the spoken truth for yourself, right? And I think that's the biggest thing we're seeing is like healing your energy, right? Love, your heart, opening your heart, and nature, ground and root yourself through this time. Loyal heart, I do see a lot of you guys, once you open your heart, you're going to rekindle with your partnerships if you're in a relationship, or maybe you'll find someone that is going to come in and just bring some interest, reconnect with a twin flame. And it's going to be like whatever you give is what you get, right? It's like as much as you're willing to consciously open your heart, I see like an opening and almost like someone coming and holding you and they're like ready to be like, thank you for not fighting against me and joining me. And I kind of saw this analogy with someone the other day where it's like you're on a cliff and you're waiting. You're just in this waiting moment, but it's like, no, open your heart and move forward, lean forward. How can I lean forward into life with these people in my life? Relationships, friendships, intimate relationships. When I can do that, I am then giving permission to be abundant because love is the abundance at the end of the day. It's receiving that love for yourself and for others, and it's giving them permission to be free. Spiritual service. Ooh, this card. I love this light worker card because it's so intense. We got the angel, we got the earth. Okay, hello, earth sign. And then we got this beautiful, like deep goddess just holding with hands, holding the earth. Let's read this card. So we got 21. That's a very potent number. 21, we got 2 and the 1. Anyone who connects with 21, 2s or 1s, this is for you. Tune up the ears just a little bit for me. Self-doubt can be a habit that is hard to break. It can slow down your spiritual progress and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Ultimately, it won't stop you, but it can make your progress seen more challenging. It's easier to fulfill your purpose when you acknowledge your own goodness and talent and do what you love. To the best of your ability. Realize that you are enough, that your work is good, and that you are something of value to offer. It is time to let go of the fear and failure and concerns about your ability and your right to live a free, happy life fulfilled of success. Believe. The universe believes in you. I agree. Okay, so I'm going to read the inner vocation because I don't usually read it. The Spirit's like, read it. And I want you to repeat it if you can. I'll try to read it slow, but I feel like this is really going to support you because this is literally the service. This card is the definition of the energy that's happening. It's crazy. We got like earth energy literally holding you. You are being held fully. Okay, so repeat after me if you feel called. Universe, I love you. How can I serve you? I accept love's protection and love's purpose in my heart. In my life. Love empowers and protects me, gives me purpose and passion, peace and play. I believe in love. I am love. And I believe in me. May the joy of helping others give me energy and courage to continue to serve and grow spiritually. May all beings receive your love and be healed through your grace. May all those who want to serve be empowered through mercy, compassion, joy, and love to do so for the greatest good. Through my own free will, so be it. If you need to repeat that, go back to that a couple times, please do, because this is really potent. This is literally the definition of Capricorn full moon. It's ending us living life through our ego, through our mind, and finally stepping into our heart and not being scared to have an open heart, not putting the walls up because of the victim that we've been in past lifetimes, including this life. And it's opening us up to choose not to suffer. And that means also connecting to the collective suffering and being part of how we can be of service to the highest light of source, of creator, of whatever you believe in. So this is like potent, very potent. Let me know what resonates with you, but I'm feeling this one. Okay, guys, let's pull out this card. I love these. These are the Earth Warrior cards by Elena Fairchild. Let's pull out one for Capricorn full moon that's happening on July 3rd, 2023. We got two. Oh, guys, this is good. Mahu, Soma Galactic Heart. Look how beautiful this energy. We got a lot of feminine, you know, a lot of feminine energy coming up. Then we have Kanini, which is in each other we find ourselves. Again, when we open our heart, we're giving ourselves permission. You not opening your heart to a partner, a friend, or someone is actually because you fear that that person is going to show you a version of you that you were terrified of. And that's your truth. That's who you need to witness. That's who you need to free. So here it's like when we close our hearts, we're actually closing our hearts to ourselves. Huge. The Divine Mother's milk is the galaxies feeding your soul, an expansion of your horizons. Your spiritual purpose and your sacred responsibilities is taking place. To the divine potential within you is awakening at a higher turn and a creative spiral of consciousness. This oracle is the prophecy of ascension and grace. Your soul has been going through a deep spiritual feeding process and growing rapidly. This is from our heart being freed with all the pain and the blocked energy. It's like coming up and it's now at the end. No more. We're choosing no more. The evidence of this is the outer world will be a sense of expanded opportunity, reach and connection and spiritual experience. This oracle foretells that the welcoming of the new phase in life, newborn energies and fertility, whether biological, creative, or psychological, are being stimulated. The oracle indicates the discovery, development, and expansion of the talents and increasingly public profile, while moves you into the spotlight, can help you fulfill your divine life mission, provided that you keep your inner connection to the spirit as the highest priority. The oracle speaks of the soul healing around matters of trust, spirit, and mother of the abundance. So it is. 36. That's a very deep, potent card. Okay, guys, let's go to 42. 42 is this card. Thanks for chilling with me, guys. This was a very deep reading. I was not expecting to go deep into Capricorn, but here we are. There is a spiritual purpose that only you can fulfill. Ooh, may I say that less competition, more collaboration is a big thing with Capricorn, right? Don't be money hungry all the time. Regardless of what you do for a living, like money hungry is just going to cause you to feel so unaligned. So stop being hungry for the next big thing, thinking that it will fulfill the void that you need to let go and fill with love. As you move forward on your journey, you create a space of others to move along behind you. As the ones ahead of you move forward, so do does those rooms open up in your expansion. Upon this earth, you are all building a sacred temple, each fulfilling your own tasks as you assist each other in the collective divine mission. How can I help with your heart most actively engaged? What can you offer which inspires the energies you so much that others are uplifted in your presence? Your energy is, this is where I'm going to, your energy is the abundance. Like people being around you. This is why a lot of people, when I used to do a lot of social media stuff, when I was a social media consultant, a lot of people, how do I get clients? I was already tapping into, I was like, your energy, like no matter what money you give, at the end of the day, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. I'm sorry, but like you can't buy character, honey. So you got to work on what needs to come in with your heart first, and what part of your heart's closed off. How can I receive others joyfully? Bring them pleasure. Engage in the giving and receiving deeply in the devotion. Your wisdom and openness is life-generated healing to the earth. One thing that's coming up for me for this Capricorn full moon is really understanding your balance between giving and receiving. Am I asking spirit so much for things, but I'm not giving? And if that's coming from scarce, and if I'm giving all the time, this is coming from feeling like unworthy. So if you're asking, this is the energy of the ego of scarcity and greed. And then if you're giving, this is like lack of boundaries, people pleasing, and feeling unworthy. So look at those two shadows. You know, you might be weaving between the two, dancing between the two, but this might open up something for you. I just felt called to share that. Healing is indicated, especially of the wounds, about connection and trust, safety, and tribe, belonging and permission to be a unique individual. At a physical level, more vitality, and ample of energy, for healing is indicated. At the spiritual level, a deepening awareness of unlifted, unfulfilled consciousness is opening up within you. Woo, I felt like a weaving of lines up my spine. Almost like your chakras are upgrading, which will bring you into a deeper divine communion and increase of effectiveness as the healing presence, sacred activist in the world. You're an activist of something deeper. A lot of you, all of us, we're all here for something deeper that only you can do because you have your story. Not everyone's story is the same. It doesn't matter how similar you've met someone. At the end of the day, their story, their energy is different. That's why we have enough room for everyone in this world. The universe wants you to succeed. Do not hesitate to ask and receive assistance for fulfillment of your mission to help others. Capricorn, what did I say, is big energy. Like it's letting go of the things that are preventing you from showing up in this world and being successful. That's really what everything I share with you, the feedback I gave you, all these cards is like, come together in community and be successful with the right people from your heart. When you can do that, spirit, universe, whatever you believe in will constantly support you as long as you show up for yourself first, which is crucial. So I love this because I just looked down, I have my pyrite crystal during this whole reading, and I thought how fitting, because I didn't even plan on doing it. I made a crystal grid around myself and pyrite just popped up, so I'm just laughing. But let me know down below, guys, what felt good in this reading? How are you feeling? What are we feeling right now with the energy and just everything I shared with you? Let me know what resonated with you down below and how this Capricorn full moon is affecting you. And let's just see, what is your vision of community for yourself? I'd love for you to type down below. Don't forget, guys, we have the Lionsgate Breathwork Zoom healing circle that's happening. It's a 3-hour healing on August 8th. I'd love to see you there. It'd be so much fun. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and you can register down below. So I'm really excited. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, just send me an email. I'll respond to you when I get back. As I said, I'm in the jungle, but I'm putting energy out here for you guys to support you. And I can put you on the waiting list and schedule you once you send me a message. And I'll send you all the next steps. And lastly is Ancestral Retreat. If you resonated with a lot with the mother wound, if you resonated a lot with ancestors, or you're feeling called to connect with your ancestors, or you're the karmic breaker, I would highly suggest you applying for the Ancestral Retreat down below. And the rest of you, add yourself to the email list, subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Let me know how you're feeling and share with a friend. This community is so potent, and every time one of you joins, I feel the shift. I feel an expansion, and I want to say I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for being curious about your purpose and doing this deep, deep, deep work that I know not a lot of people maybe feel the power to do so, but when you can step into it, you're giving them permission to do the same. Even the ones that you might not think are open to the way you see the world, we give gratitude to them because it's a great dynamic in this world. It allows us to keep growing and expanding and being patient and come back to love. So have a beautiful Capricorn full moon. I'll be posting an energy healing meditation for you guys in the next video, and I will see you guys really soon.